So I know that I seem to always review a lot of these, like, whatever the musical live things that are on TV. Not all of them, but a lot of them I do seem to. And when I heard The Little Mermaid live was gonna be a thing, I was like, if they mess it up, I'm gonna be really mad, but at the same time, if they do it well, I wanna see it. So it was one of those catch-22 things where I was like, I'm so scared of them ruining it, but at the same time, I love The Little Mermaid, so I'm gonna watch it. I didn't realize it was the 30th anniversary this year until I stopped and thought about it, and was like, oh yeah, I guess I was like 4 when The Little Mermaid came out, so, huh, who knew? I guess I'd kind of forgotten that. I'd taken The Little Mermaid for granted as just kind of always being a thing, even though I knew that it came out in my lifetime, just when I was pretty little. But yeah, that actually was like my big Disney princess movie until Beauty and the Beast came out, and then after I saw Snow White, it was all over. But anyway, but Little Mermaid has always held a special place in my heart. It marked the beginning of the Disney Renaissance, which obviously in the moment at the time, there was no way of knowing that that period was that, but I mean, I was basically born into a world where Disney was, like, good again. I didn't realize there was ever a period where they weren't. So that wasn't until I was an adult that I realized that that was even a thing, and I just lucked the hell out in when I was born. Especially as a Disney fan. So, anyway, little back history aside. Most of these live versions of musicals on TV tend to be straight up, they do the whole show, point A to point B, whole way through, and that's that. And I figured this was going to be another one of those. Not quite on this one. And I actually only shortly before it aired found out that that's not quite how they're doing this one. It's kind of an interesting amalgamation of them showing the film in certain parts of it, and then panning to the live action and going back and forth. I'm guessing so that the stuff that they couldn't do on a stage and do justice to, they would just use the original source material for, instead of attempting and probably screwing it up. So, alright, that's cool. Don't mind that, that's actually intriguing. So it opens, and, like, they show a little bit of the film, but immediately pan into the live action, like, pretty much straight off the bat. And, like, they had the dolphins jumping in the water, and then we see in the audience of this live showing that, everyone there had, like, I guess either, like, a ribbon or a streamer that they were going back and forth like this with to make it look like the dolphins jumping in and out of the water. I was like, that's a nice touch. Alright, you know what? I already like this. This is a good sign. They're doing it justice. They're being faithful to the source material. And then all the sailors come out on the boat, and I'm like, oh, those costumes are unfortunate. Okay. And then Grimsby comes out, and in the least racist way sounding possible, I was just like, why is Grimsby a black guy? Which, I mean, if the whole thing had straight up been live action all the way through, would have been used to it in like 30 seconds and not given it another thought. It only really entered my mind because it went back and forth between the movie and the live action. And in the movie, it's like this old pasty white dude whose face is like ashen gray because he is so pale. And then black dude in the live action. I was like, okay, alright. Are we not supposed to think about that? Like, if they hadn't really shown the scenes with the animated version, that probably wouldn't have even crossed my mind, but they showed a lot with him as the animated version, so I was like, I get we're doing inclusion, but okay, whatever. I'll let it go. It's not that important, but okay. Actually, most of the scenes involving Grimsby, they actually just used the source material for, which was kind of weird. I would have kind of liked to have seen those acted out, like the whole scene at the dinner table. I think that would have been fun to see the actual live-action actors doing that. Nah, they just showed the film for that. It seemed like the second half of the film, they really went hard and just showing the film instead of acting out most of it. Whereas the first half, they did more of the acting it out part. That was kind of interesting to me. I was like, oh, right as I was getting into seeing them acting out most of it, we chose to get lazy? I don't know. But, okay, whatever. Eric comes out and I'm like, no, why? He's not cute enough to be Eric. I'm sorry. Like, whatever dude that was that played him, like, I should have probably looked up names before doing this review, but whoever the hell played Eric, I'm sorry. You're not cute enough to be Eric. Sorry. But, like, just saying. I never did shake that one the whole time watching it. It was just like, they could have cast that a lot better. If they had filmed this 30 years ago, John Stamos could have been Eric instead of Chef Louis. But, he actually made a really good Chef Louis, but we'll get to that later when it gets to that part. So, okay, they have the whole part with Eric on the boat with his flute, blah, blah, blah. And it pans into Ariel in the ocean, peeping on him, and blah, 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 blah. And it has the whole Daughters of Triton thing, that whole concert thing, which they had animation for leading up to, and then when it got to, like, the actual performance, it went into the live action, and I forget how they segued it, but it was really smooth, the way that they did it, and I was like, you know, if they choose to do another live one like this with a different Disney movie, they could learn from this, because that was done really well, the way that they did that. It was fairly seamless. But that said, the Daughters of Triton that they chose for the casting in this were not even close to lining up with the appearances of the ones in the film, which, again, if they had never shown the ones in the film, in the animated bits, wouldn't have mattered, but they did, and it was like, okay, we're still doing that. Okay. I mean, on one hand, I, again, respect that we're trying to really push the inclusion card, but, for what a diverse array we had for this, it's like, so did King Triton have a different baby mama for every single one of his daughters? Because there is no telling me that any of them have the same mom. Just saying. So I was just like, I don't want to be the dick and say it, but I'm biting my tongue real hard watching this, but I mean, that part aside, they did do an interesting job of it. Not the best I've ever seen, but they did okay with the song, but it could have been done better in spots. Like, some of the singers were really good in it. Other ones, it was like, did you, like, know somebody in casting? Because no. But I mean, it was just the Daughters of Triton crap, so I mean, they're only gonna sing the one time. It really doesn't matter. Once we're past that song, you don't even have to think about them again, really, other than the couple brief times that they pop up through the film, but they don't sing, so whatever. Don't care. And then they get to Ariel, and she looked really familiar, and I couldn't figure out why. And she sounded really familiar. I still couldn't figure it out. Still couldn't figure out why. And it wasn't until we hit the part of the film where it was part of your world, where my dad, who I didn't even realize had seen the film of this to be able to make such a definitive statement, bolts upright from laying down on the couch like, that's Moana! And I was like, no, it's not! And I look close, I'm listening to the voice, and wait a minute. And she hit some particular phrase in the song, and the way she did it definitely sounded just like, the big song in Moana. I was like, son of a bitch, is he right? And I'm like Googling it like as fast as I can, and oh my god, it is Moana. Alright, you know what? Gold star to you. You actually got that right, and I didn't. Oh my god, I am so impressed and proud and shocked right now. Okay. So I mean, that was kind of cool, because I mean, she kind of has the round Ariel face to work for that and everything. okay, whatever. And she has a strong vocal voice. One problem though, and this followed her through the whole film every time she sang, and I mean, I get that they were trying to change it from the original movie enough to not just seem like a copycat of the movie, but they could have done better with this. Every line out of her mouth was so staccato. It just grated my last nerve that the last word in every phrase was super sharp and just really brief. It was like, you know, that's not how Ariel sings, right? And it's very jarring to hear it done that way, especially when I know for a fact this chick could definitely have sung it the original way. It's more jarring knowing that Jodie Benson, the original voice of Ariel, was there during this. Like, if you don't want to do it right, let her sing it. Fuck, don't screw it up. But, oh my gosh, it just, if it weren't for that one thing, she would have been perfect at it. But that one thing just grated my every last nerve on every single line out of her mouth. Because she kept doing it the whole time. I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if this was an intentional choice on their part. But it bothered the ever-loving crap out of me every time she sang. I was like, ah! Okay. Calm down. Alright. I have a lot of strong feelings about my Disney movies, okay? Okay. Especially the ones that I love as hard as The Little Mermaid, but anywho. I also found it interesting that they aired this on National Redhead Day. Just as an aside, that probably was coincidental, but it worked out really well. But anyway, that has nothing to do with the actual show itself. That just, I remembered that yesterday was National Redhead Day, and I actually had this thought while watching it. I was like, I wonder if they knew, or if that was totally by chance. I bet that was by chance, but kind of cool anyway. So anyways, oh god, like, it kept going back and forth between the animated one, but in a lot of the animated clips, maybe I need to go back and rewatch the original film, but I swear it seems like they kind of cropped the image down on a lot of scenes to, like, just part of the image, and the way that they panned it around made it seem like there was more movement than there needed to be than was in the original. That was kind of jarring to me. Some of it felt a little bit sped up from the original. I was like, I do not remember it looking like that, and I have watched that movie a crap ton of times. I'm pretty sure they edited this. Like, I am 99% sure they edited this. I'm probably going to rewatch it at some point today and double check on this, but the whole time I was just like, could you just show the original frame the way that it's meant to be seen and not do this jarring action through it that does not need to be there? Like, during the shark scene, okay, fine. Fair enough. Artistic license that probably did make it seem more nerve-wracking than it originally would have been. But other ones, it made no sense, really, why they did it quite the way they did it. And it was almost like motion sick inducing, and I think that was why it caught my attention and bothered me, because it was actually making me feel a little bit sick at points. I was like, oh my god, stop shaking the frame. I know damn well that's not what it looked like in the original, because I've always had motion sickness since I was a tiny little kid, and that movie never bothered me to watch. And suddenly I can't? Yeah, I'm thinking they did some crop jobs here. So Ursula was an interesting choice. They had Queen Latifah as Ursula, who actually, okay, vocally, I agree with that. That actually was a very good choice there. Not quite sure what they had going on with her hair, really. It was kind of, like, way too tall for Ursula, but, I feel like she's, like, slimmed way down. I was like, oh, Ursula's supposed to be, okay, whatever, doesn't matter. But, you would think that if nothing else, at least for the tentacles on the suit, they would have puffed those up some. The original thing she had on, they looked huge, but then she, like, sheds that off and has, like, this skin-tight black slinky thing on that has what's supposed to be tentacles at the bottom of it. It's kind of just awkwardly shifting along the floor. It's like, that looked really much better before you took the other piece off. Okay, whatever. For the most part, no issues with her as Ursula. She actually made a pretty good Ursula. But the one crucial line in that song, the line about body language, she kind of, like, didn't even do it justice or really even try to do the motion correctly with that one. It was like, oh, what the hell was that? Like, did we have to clean this up for... It was in the original little kids movie. If it was fine in that cartoon, it's fine here. Come on. Yeah, that got way watered down, and I was just like, oh, okay. I'm a little disappointed now, but I kind of really was waiting to see her do that exact line, and then, oh, never mind. But she otherwise was actually, like, a really awesome Ariel. No complaints there. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so for the actual swimming of Ariel as a mermaid, I don't know if they really did it with the other mermaids, but I know with Ariel they at least did it during Part of Your World. They did have her on wires so she could swim through the water, and it kind of worked. It also kind of just looked like she was levitating because she was forgetting to move the tail, so she just awkwardly moving straight up in a line, and then, like, about 10 feet off the ground, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be flipping the tail. Whoops. Yeah, if she'd been doing it the whole time, that would have looked a lot better, but she kind of forgot. But, there was other parts of it where the movements actually did look pretty good for that, but it kind of alternated between looking ridiculous, but then looking good, so it's like, I'm sure this is probably really hard to actually make look good when you're the one doing it. So, I mean, I'm not trying to throw too much shade here, but at the same time, I'm like, they had how many months to rehearse for this? They could have ironed that out a little better, but for the most part, it looked alright. So, not complaining too hard about that. But, I just wanted to throw that in as an aside, that's how they did the swimming for that. But they didn't do a whole ton of it. There's a couple points where they brought it back. Interestingly, I don't know if they wrote some extra songs specifically for this version, or if these are from, like, the Broadway musical version. I have not seen the Broadway musical version of The Little Mermaid, so it's very possible that they're from it. Or they may have been written for this. I don't know, but all of a sudden when there's new songs in it, I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? Get that out of here. Like, we're doing this with the movie. We're going movie version. Get that shit out of here. Like, Eric had a song. All of a sudden, I'm like, why is Eric singing? Eric doesn't sing. Stop that. Just stop that. Oh, God, and there was, like, extra verses added for Part of Your World. I was like... But they weren't with the main song. They randomly popped up later, like, 2 other points throughout the film. It's like, okay? Huh. Alright then. But yeah, back to the Ursula thing. It was kind of interesting seeing how they went about that, because they did have the Flotsam and Jetsam eels, but it was like when they do The Lion King on stage, they have, like, dudes with the things, but you're not really supposed to notice the dudes carrying the things, and it wasn't too distracting. They did it well enough, but, oh, that reminds me. They did have a puppet for Flounder. This thing... I have no words. I took one look at it, and I went, what the fuck is that? That's not Flounder. What the fuck is that? But, it looked more like a Muppet than anything from the Disney universe. And yes, I realize that Disney now owns the Muppets, but whatever that thing is, that's not Flounder. You're not fooling me. What the hell is that? Like, its face is probably seared into my nightmares now. But I was just like, is no one else seeing this thing? No? Okay. Whereas Sebastian is just like a dude in a red suit. Okay, I guess you would kind of have to, because you wouldn't be able to see an itty bitty little crab on stage, so fine, alright. But the red suit that this guy wore, it just made me think of, like, Eddie Murphy in, not Raw, the other one. The famous stand-up show he did. Why am I blanking on it? Probably because it's 5 in the morning. But, anyway, it looked like Eddie Murphy, basically, to me, and I could not unsee it once my mind made this comparison. And then all I could do was imagine Eddie Murphy is Sebastian the entire damn time. And was just like, damn itself, stop that right now. Even though that is on me, not on them. Their Sebastian was cool enough, I guess, but I kind of, just given that outfit, it ended up just making me really wish it were Eddie Murphy the whole damn time, even though Eddie Murphy would not have been a great choice for Sebastian. I don't know, maybe he would be. I mean, he's a pretty good mimic of different voices and accents, so actually, maybe he could have done Sebastian pretty well. Just a thought, but yeah, that outfit just, I couldn't unsee it as that, and every damn time he came out, I started giggling again because all I could think of was freaking Eddie Murphy as Sebastian. My dad's like, what the hell? I was like, just imagine it as Eddie Murphy, just do it, trust me. It makes it so much better. He's like, you're an idiot. I was like, I know, but oh god, but yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing it as like a full-size dude who is bigger than Ariel, but is also supposed to be an itty-bitty little crab. But then also when it did get to the point of Chef Louis, oh, okay, Sebastian's one type of crab, but the crabs in the Chef Louis scene are like big-ass, bulky crab-looking things. It's like, what is going on here? I think one of them may have been a child. I'm not positive. It may have just been somebody with a real young looking face, but looked like a little kid in that big bulky suit. Oh god, John Stamos is Chef Louis though. Spot on. I am not saying that just because I'm a John Stamos fangirl, but like legit. He was kind of perfect for that. I realize he's actually played that role before in live productions of it, so I mean, he's had practice. He is also a Disney fanboy himself, so he knows damn well going into it, if he's going to do it, he's going to do it right. This is a man who has the D from the original Disneyland sign in his freaking yard, okay? He loves Disney. I respect that. He did a real good job with this. I quite enjoyed seeing him in it. It was 90% of why I ended up was like, you know what, I was on the fence till I heard he's in it, okay, I'm gonna watch it. But, yeah, he was perfect. I mean, I feel like I should wax rhapsodical about this. It's early, okay, I can talk. But at the same time, I'm like, there's not much for me to specifically say there because he was so good. There's not really specific things to point out because it just was perfect. Although some of the accent he used for it sounded incredibly like when he played the MC in Cabaret, and then I couldn't unsee that either. And that's kind of an interesting mashup in your mind to have those two characters going at the same time. Just saying. Especially his version of it, because his version of the MC was dirty. So I was like, oh, brain, don't do this to me. Not right now, man. No, don't. Oh, it's too late. It went there. Damn it. But anyway, yeah, if you've not seen that, there's clips of it on YouTube. Search it. Do yourself a favor. But be warned, they're very not safe for work. So, anyway. But yeah, you'll probably never look at John Stamos the same way again after seeing that. But anyway, let me have another sip of coffee. I think that may have been around the point where it really took a turn into, after that, it kind of just really became, we're gonna focus heavy on just the movie and just show that and kind of let you guys forget we were watching a live action thing. Like, they cut back a couple of times, like, during Kiss the Girl, it was going back and forth, but, most of it, though, from that point onward, was not live action. It was almost entirely just the animated film, to the point where I did have to stop and question, was like, are they, like, done doing the live action stuff? Are we just watching the movie now? I think we're just watching the movie now. I mean, I'm not complaining. I love the movie, but oh, okay. Okay. But at the same time, it's also like an abridged version of the movie because they did cut stuff out like a lot. And I'm sure that was probably for time constraints, adding that in with commercials and with the live action stuff being different lengths. They had to make some choices with that, which I get, but it was interesting. Although seeing the live action Scuttle, like he showed up once, I think, in the whole thing is like a live action version, and Kiss the Girl just like random wah like next to the boat and then like disappeared, and that was it. It was like, what the frig was that? Okay, all right then. And that was like the only time I think we ever saw a live action Scuttle. Okay. I did like that they had a live dog there for Max. That was nice. I love anything with a dog, so I was like, okay, yay, puppy. Even though it was a grown-ass dog, like, yay, puppy. But, I know, I'm easy to please. That was cool. Like, even when, at the very end of it, they had, like, the entire cast come out and, like, walk, basically in a parade around, the edge of the stage. They even had Max, the dog, included in that. I thought that was a nice touch, but, I don't know, but overall feelings on it, I feel like it should have had more of the live action in it than the animated film for the second half. First half was fine because it was a pretty even balance between the two, but the second half, they needed more of the live action because it was like, I don't know if they just tapped out, I don't know if they ran out of budget, I don't know what happened, but it's like they kind of forgot to keep going back to it. But, yeah, I would have liked to have seen some of those done live action. Like the whole battle with Ursula, that would have been freaking fun to see done live action. I've seen it done during the Ice Capades. I know it can be done. Why couldn't they do it here? I'm not quite sure. But like I said, I've seen it during the Ice Capades 2 different years even. 2 different casts doing this in different ways. It can freaking be done. If they can do it on ice, you can do it on a solid flat stage. Like, trust me on this. But, yeah, I was actually really disappointed that they did not act that out. But what can you do? It is what it is. But, I think I just realized, did they ever have a live-action King Triton? I'm not sure that they did. I would have to go back and double check that. I'm not sure if there was a live-action King Triton, come to think of it. That was kind of a big oversight if they didn't. It's also possible it was an oversight on my part if they did and I'm completely forgetting he was there. But, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the takeaway was they should have had more live action in the second half. But overall, it was enjoyable to watch. There was some questionable judgment in certain parts of it, but overall, it was enjoyable to watch. I think I may have liked this one more than most of the live versions, the TV live versions, I should say, of these things that I've watched previously. This may be the most enjoyable one I've sat through. Just saying. I can't really complain too hard. There's certain things I would have done better, but, well, I shouldn't even necessarily say better. I would have done differently, I should say. But other than that, you know, it was enjoyable to sit through. They seem to be, well, I say that judging off of this one alone, but it does seem like they're getting better at doing these for TV than the first really rough ones were, because those were just painful to watch, and a lot of them have fallen into that category, but they've seemed to progressively get less cringy over time. It's like they're learning from the mistakes of the past ones and learning how to fix them in the current ones. So that I appreciate, and it's making me more willing to sit through them now, because after the first couple I was like, oh hell no, that's just automatically gonna be a shit show. But now it's like, you know, there's actually a fair chance that they could be decent. Not necessarily good, but at least decent, and that's good enough for me, I think. So, anywho, that is about all of my thoughts, really, for it. There's nothing else to say that I haven't already said, I don't think, with this one, unless there's something that I'm, like, massively forgetting here. But anyways, I think I'm going to wrap this one up now. So, as usual, yeah, bump the table, whoops. as usual, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below about this. Did you watch it? What were your thoughts on it, good, bad, or otherwise? Let me know your thoughts, as well as anything else you feel like leaving me. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it and get your name on the end card for a month and whatever donation level perks that go along with it, go ahead and leave that. Well, I shouldn't say leave that. The donation link is down in the description. And in case nobody has told you today and you need to hear it, I am so proud of you. So anyway, guys, till next time, bye-bye.